be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Sunshine State in TIAA Bank Field here in Jacksonville. This crowd excited to see their Jaguars as both teams emerged from their tunnels a moment ago. We are just about ready for football as the Jags get set to match up with Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. Charles, you look at this Jaguar team. The losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Titans, they come in at an early crossroads here, facing a tough opponent on the road where a loss would make them 0-3.
And when you start that way, doubts really start to creep into a locker room, and guys start to battle each other instead of worrying about winning games.
It's an Indian summer afternoon. Perfect conditions for football, and off we go on EA Sports. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. Leading the charge is the UCF product who hails from right there in the Orlando area in Altamont Springs, Blake Bortles.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
Now TJ Yeldon. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. He's a second-round pick, a solid second-round pick, but when you're close to that first round, do you come in with a little chip on your shoulder?
You definitely do, because now your money's not the same. But even more than that, it's the prestige. Everyone wants to be a first-round pick, and he thought his talent demanded that. And I do know some teams in the league that had first-round grades on him.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago, really it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
So you have to give a lot of credit to the entire scouting organization. General manager, personnel department, college scouts, all came together. They evaluated it very well and got a nice payoff.
And now a look at the offense for Jacksonville.
Let's take a look at tight end Austin Safarian-Jenkins, or ASJ as his friends and all announcers like to call him because it's a whole lot easier. Second tight end drafted in 2014, but production was really lacking until 2017 with the New York Jets. Had 50 catches, which was more in his 2+ combined years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Throwing his Bortles on third down. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and it'll be fourth down. A really nice catch, but bottom line, that should have gone for more yardage.
Give him a pass in the flat that allows him to get upfield. There's plenty of distance between him and all the defenders. Actually cost himself some yardage there. Yeah, they got the completion, but it could have been so much more.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Here's Jackson. An 8-yard return there after a punt of 47. And it'll be Titan football. Mariota and the Titans break the huddle, 1st and 10, right at the 30. Now a carry for the shifty Dion Lewis. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. And the offensive starters for Tennessee.
The Titans wanted a little bit more out of the number 5 pick in the draft in 2017, and that is Corey Davis. And I expected they'll get it moving forward. Beset by hamstring injuries in preseason last year, it was slow going in the beginning, but he really started to come on as the season concluded. In fact, in the postseason, 9 catches, 98 yards with 2 touchdowns in 2 games. I expect that he'll be their number 1 receiver in 2018 and beyond.
Again, it's Lewis. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, Mariota. And the Jags get to him as down he goes. Telvin Smith with a big-time sack on 3rd down. And it'll be a loss of 7. You know darn well both of these teams reviewed the film and saw that this defense had 5 sacks last week. They got to keep their QB upright.
And they're going to try their best to do exactly that. But they're facing a team where getting to the quarterback is a mindset. It's a mantra for them. And they play a game within the game. And you know what it is? Let's race to the quarterback and see who gets there first.
And now out come the Jags. The last couple of drives have ended in punts. Maybe the crowd minds that, but you're a defensive guy. You're okay with a couple of punt drives.
Listen, I'm the guy that loves a 0-0 pitch game. Right? In baseball, I can handle that going into the 7th inning. I think the crowd, though, they want to see a little bit more excitement. Let's see it.
This is caught at the 20. And he'll take it down deep into Tennessee territory. It's a big play. Bortles to Westbrook. 65 yards. Well, it's one thing to grab it with one hand, but when you make a catch of that distance, quite another.
Yes, sir. I mean, that one right there, we keep talking about the high-flying antics that we're seeing from receivers nowadays. Doesn't matter what spot they start in. But when it actually does happen in the heat of battle, brings me right out of my seat.
The Jags with their first opportunity in the red zone. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 15. A first carry for Leonard Fournette. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Jags have taken the early lead. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
That was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result? 6 points.
Touchdown. The quick strike ability certainly intact there. 2 plays, 80 yards to score it. To return, here's Michael Campanaro. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. Off the play fake, Mariota. Flush to his right. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. 3rd and long here for Mariota. Sets up the screen to Lewis. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. And a screen only good for 3 that time, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, A little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. They were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, just what they're going through, whether it's seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
And that was a good run. This was only one of 9 guys to go over 1,000 yards in 2017. And I think you can't let him run wild here.
What do you think, 100 yards, the measuring stick?
Always. That is the threshold. You want to keep him under that if you want to play good defense.
Now Bortles on the bootleg. And Austin Seferian-Jenkins has it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Bortles to the former Jet, Seferian-Jenkins for the Jags' first down.
That's a good-looking play to me. The big tight end on a crossing route coming underneath. Sometimes he can gain some serious momentum going forward, can he?
Yeah, he can indeed, and pretty well executed there. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
A fake to Fournette. Now it's Bortles to throw. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down. Bortles now already at 100 yards passing in this first quarter. It's 1st and 10. Bortles now on first down. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
On 2nd down, here's Yeldon. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Bortles now to throw. And that is incomplete.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. The Titans offense now, they work their way back onto the field. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Second down, Mariota. And he'll hit his tight end, Walker. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
They'll try to run for the first with Henry. With the former Volunteer Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Titans with a football here to begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And it's fielded at the 34. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go.
They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. They want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
And he's up over midfield and down into Tennessee territory. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Looking back to Leonard Fournette's rookie campaign, over 1,000 yards rushing. And coming into the league, some people saw this kid as an ex-Adrian Peterson. What can we expect from him going forward?
I like the comparison because of the size, the strength, the speed. But I think he catches the ball better than Adrian Peterson. So I think they can up his utilization in the passing game. But what really impressed me was down the stretch in the divisional playoff game against Pittsburgh, hurt his ankle, left the game for a while, and came back and helped power his team to a big victory. Remember, he had some dings at LSU that kept him out of a few games. I thought that was a breakthrough for Leonard Fournette.
And a nice gain of 21 yards.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, and the Jaguars add on to their lead.
And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Dion Lewis getting set to go again here with his guys on offense. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they?
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
Now Mariota. And Davis with it left side. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
And this is going to be incomplete. The linebacker, Telvin Smith, able to get a hand on it there.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And here is Blake Bortles as we focus in on him for our player spotlight. He's had one of those games. Bortles leads the Jags up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
380.
They go play action here on 1st down. Left side complete, Safarian Jenkins. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. A good pickup there at 22.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
That's it. 380.
to the air on second down. It's Bortles. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down. Bortles going to run the draw with Fournette. He takes this for about 6 down inside the 40.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
From the gun on third down, Bortles into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Wesley Woodyard, and his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Well, when someone other than the quarterback is throwing the football, it's either beautiful or a disaster, and here it was the latter.
Nowhere in between, right? You're exactly right. It takes some fortitude to call that type of a play, but when it doesn't work, oh boy, you wish you hadn't.
And this is incomplete. The linebacker, Miles Jack, able to knock that one away.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them, they've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Calais Campbell in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. That's a 6'8", 300-pound man out of the U, Mr. Campbell.
Yes, and he came from Arizona to Jacksonville and didn't just bring that frame with him. He broke 14.5 sacks as well and created a new city within their city, now known as Saxonville.
Getting set to go again, Blake Bortles marches back onto the field with his offense. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, does that interception, even though you're playing well, your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record.
And the Titan defense steps up here, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down.
Bortles to throw on second down. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back with more from Jacksonville. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Bortles again here on 2nd and 10. A throw left side, complete to his receiver, Westbrook. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
Now Bortles, and he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Wesley Woodyard coming on the blitz. He gets him for a loss of 7.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
And the interception earlier, that sack. Well, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll be a 3rd and about 13.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They've become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. 4th down now as the Titans defense holds up in coverage.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Flushed out right. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Mariota now on 2nd down. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
The Titans on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. From the shotgun, it's Mariota. They find some open field here. Down the numbers. There he goes. And they will score. It's a Jacksonville touchdown.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick 6. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. That'll be taken in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Back to it after the pick 6. Mariota escaping the pressure right. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. On 2nd down, here's Henry. And he powers his way up past the 30. So we hit the halftime break here. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. The Jaguars in possession of the lead, and they will get the football as we are underway in this second half. The Titans offense now, they get set to head back out here. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Mariota now. He's going to lead this for his running back. It's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Call it a gain of 3. And they're going to face a third down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
On third down, it's Lewis. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That'll make it fourth down after a loss of 1.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Here comes the Jags offense now. Time for their first possession of half number 2. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, they'll get out to you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see what the offense gets done.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Bortles will try again on second down. Safarian Jenkins has it. A good move on the carry, but still brought down just inside the 40. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
The Jaguars on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Bortles to throw once more. This is Yeldon on the dump off. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moved.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 4. Now third down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. But he finds Safarian Jenkins. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. First down, Jacksonville. The passing game looking sharp on this drive for the Jags.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What did the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him old reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks.
And this is caught for a touchdown. Now hold everything here. Flag in the backfield. This one might be coming back.
Holding offense.
So erase the red zone score. They'll have to dial that one up again.
And you know how difficult it is to strike in the red zone because things are a little bit more condensed. You got to go back to their play chart and see if they can dial up another one.
Working from the gun, it's Bortles. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, you need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And some space here. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain.
The tackle is made by Adoree Jackson.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The Jaguars on third down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This will be 3rd and 15.
From the gun, it's Bortles. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete.
And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field. But they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Uncorks one for... Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground. It's T.J. Yeldon. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Tackle made by Brian Orakpo.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now Bortles throwing on 2nd down. He'll get this over to Westbrook. It's complete. He had a great move, but he'll still be stopped shy of midfield. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The Jaguars on 3rd down. Not quite 50%, 4 for 9. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. To throw, it's Bortles. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off by Super Bowl 49 hero Malcolm Butler. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line. If they needed a break, they needed to make a play here in the third quarter defensively. They did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
They'll start things on 1st down with Dion Lewis. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. An 11-yard pickup for the Titans and a 1st down.
That's a lot of beef thundering downfield off of the toss play, and it takes me back to when I was a kid and watching USC play. Remember the old toss that they ran? They used to call student body right or student body left because everyone was out in front of the ball carrier. In fact, one of their favorite plays, it was called rose stem right or rose stem left, depending on the formation, 28 toss. And 28 toss was their bread and butter.
The former All-Pro Marcel Darius brings him down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Now a second down throw for Mariota. Rolling to his left. It comes, and he lost the football. Mariota had it jarred loose. Mariota had an 87-yard run as a rookie. This one a bit less, but it is a first down.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. If ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
Now Lewis. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. Back now in Jacksonville. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. They'll try to throw now. Mariota. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by the former first-round pick, DJ Hayden. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They are excited about where they are in this game.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe... Yeah, you've taught me this before. Maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down.
Personal foul.
You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
380. 380.
After the penalty, it's Fournette. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Delay of game, offense.
Yeah, that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still second down.
A fake to Fournette, now it's Bortles to throw. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Now, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away, turns into a nice play.
The Jaguars on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is 3rd and 11.
380. 380.
Now Bortles. It's complete on the bubble screen. That's Lee. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason, it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Here's the Titan offense now as they make their way back onto the field. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on 1st down for them. Brings up a nice 2nd down for them.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. The Titans on 3rd down, as bad as you can be, 0 for 7 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. From the gun, Mariota. Over the middle to Smith. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
44's Mike. 44's Mike. Check. I'm coming after you. Keep it rolling. Kill. Easy. Watch twist. Bobo's the Mike. One.
Mariota on 1st down. Steps away to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. After the sack, here's 2nd and 11. 2nd down, Mariota. And complete to the tight end Walker, right side. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
On 3rd down, Mariota. And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently. So that's just going to be an incompletion.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. It comes, and he lost the football. Mariota had it jarred loose. The Titans try it, but ultimately they fail on 4th down. And the Jags take over in terrific field position. Fournette, a 1st down carry. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage.
And he lost the football. Call it luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
The open man is Westbrook. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. And Lambeau will put this one through. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Now Campanaro. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. The Titans offense now, they get ready to do battle again here. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They try again with Lewis. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the 4th quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production. But how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the offensive line and the other guys because they're getting to him before he can get started.
Third and long here for Mariota. And he hits his man, Matthews. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give him credit for that. Too little, too late, but no 0. Oh, you're going slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. Extra point up and good by Suckup. So it would no doubt be a miracle comeback from here, but let's see what they can do starting with the onside kick. And the Jaguars are going to cover this one up.
Illegal touching. Offense.
So they touched it before it went 10, and that's obviously not going to help their comeback bid here in the 4th.
No, not at all, and they're trying to get something going after one there, but you've got to give yourself a chance. Let it go 10 before you touch it.
Bortles on the give to Fournette, fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Fournette. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
And, Brandon, this is where it pays to have a big back who can take over a football game, especially in the 4th quarter when you've got the lead, your ability to not just wear people down, but close games out.
And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for Jacksonville,